Sometimes that happens. I want to make sure to get that, but we're back. Please take a moment, hit like, hit subscribe. Any thoughts on Freemasonry, positive, negative, or neutral? Sometimes when you're streaming, you get a phone call and you kind of have to take it. But let me know how you're doing and if there's any thoughts you have on Freemasonry. And we are going to talk about scams. So we're going to give this about 15 minutes. Then we'll start on that main topic because it's really important. Unfortunately, a lot of Masons have been getting scammed or targeted for scams lately. Welcome back. Oops. We're going to end this poll because I know what happened there. Have you ever been targeted for a scam? Okay. It's nice to see you as well, Cheeseburger. We got one yes so far. Geez. So already very quickly with the yeses. We're going to give it a bit more time. We're just going to wait to see who joins. Please take a moment, hit like, hit subscribe. We're just going to keep chatting for another 15, 20 minutes. And then we're going to switch over and talk about Masonic scams because they're proliferating quite substantially, unfortunately. People do that on YouTube all the time, and it's become like pretty popular content, which is a good thing you're doing because you're, keeping them from harassing other people. But just be careful, because sometimes they may be using that time to get more information about you or to learn more things about you. So just be really careful. I've never heard of Gordon Freeman, so no, I'm not sure. At least I don't think I have. I mean, no, I'm sure he's not. But maybe he'll have the last name Freeman, right? That's very common. It's a very common name. But no, he is not a Freemason. I mean, yeah, they know a lot of tricks. It's unfortunate. Scam artists are getting better and better and better, which really sucks, but it does happen. Unfortunately, I'm a toaster. Can you hit like and subscribe as a toaster? Well, that's unfortunate. You should be a better toaster. I have no idea what that is, to what you're referring. We're going to give it a bit more time. We're just going to wait to see who joins. Again, we're going to talk about Masonic scams, which are proliferating, and I want to give people some information about them because I don't want people to fall for them. Not just because it hurts them, but it hurts everybody. The more people who fall for these scams, like Masonic scams, the more money they have to try to scam other people. Hello, elevator has guide rails. Happy Thursday to you. How's it going? Thank you for being here. Please take a moment. If you've not done so yet, hit like and subscribe. Let me know if you have any thoughts on Freemasonry, positive, negative, or neutral. I'd love to hear them. Where am I from, Sagar? I'm from Canada, born and raised in Winnipeg. Currently live in Windsor. So yeah, and I love it. I've said it before, one of the great cities, great country. Canada's the greatest country in the world, in part because you have the greatest neighbors in the world. That's awesome. It's a great book, so you'll enjoy it. It's a really good book to read. Um, Maybe after you're done reading it, let me know what you think. Send me a message or talk about it on the podcast, like through the chat. That'd be really cool. And we're going to give this another couple minutes. Then we'll be jumping off the stream. Or, sorry, then we'll be switching to our main topic, Masonic scams. They absolutely exist and how to identify them, and also what to do if you get one. No, Freemasonry is not the Illuminati awaken. I'm very sorry to disappoint. Freemasonry is completely separate from the Illuminati. It's unfortunate people have these misconceptions, shall we say. But let me ask you, Awaken, why do you think of the Freemasons as the Illuminati, or where do you think the connection comes from? Israel is holy and God chose Israel. God didn't choose America, Europe. I mean, you can believe that. I would say you should. For me, Canada is the greatest country in on earth because I'm Canadian. I think everybody should believe that wherever they're from is the greatest country on earth. I think that's the best approach to take in life, is to believe that. I think it's unfortunate when people, again, if you're from Israel, of course, you should think Israel's the greatest country. If you're from Canada, you should think Canada's the greatest country. That shouldn't mean that you're not able to look at the country with some critical eyes as well and admit where it's falling down and where it's making mistakes. But I don't think that that means, again, I'm a member of a lodge in Israel, actually. I'm a member of Lodge Holy Land number 50 out of Israel, and I'm grateful for that. But for me, Canada is the greatest country in the world. I always say I'm Canadian first, and I'm American. I'm Canadian first, and then I'm a Freemason. I mean, I think that's true. The news is, and the political climate is definitely creating some interesting situations, put it that way. I know many people, unfortunately, many people have said, right, that they're very concerned about even traveling to the States from Canada, including Masons. I do love visiting though, and Despite the, shall we say, political situation, I've always done my best to keep visiting America because it's such a beautiful place with really good people, really good Masons as well. Political climate aside, what are the benefits of joining Freemasons? The benefits, each Mason has to decide the benefits for themselves. There is no single, like some Masons will receive the benefit of maybe it makes them closer to their families because, maybe they had a father or grandfather who's a Freemason, and so joining makes them feel closer. Some develop skills and abilities related to things like memorization, meeting management. Some make new friends. Some are able to take part in or assist with benevolence, where, let's say you find yourself in a difficult situation financially, you know that you can go to the Masonic Lodge and ask for assistance. There are a million different ways that Freemasons can benefit from being in Freemasonry. However, it's also very personal. It's also very unique. Every Mason will have his own, achieve their own benefits from it. A lot of it depends on why they chose to join, right? I would say for me, the biggest benefit has put me in a privileged position to try to help others and try to make the world a better place. So, don't forget, Awaken, hit the like button and hit the subscribe button. I would be truly appreciative and grateful. Some join because they get a sense of satisfaction being part of a traditional group. They like history. They like to be part of a group that's been around for over 300 years. A lot of people join because, it was very popular amongst new Canadians or new Americans because, um, because they were new to the country and they were looking to make some fast friends quickly, and they found Freemasonry. Well, thank you, Awaken. I'm truly grateful. I say it all the time because you never know, like when people are jumping in, jumping off, and so as a consequence of that, I'm always trying to make sure that I get it in there a few times just to be safe. I actually went to visit Canada with my passport. Yes, you do need to get your passport. I did a poll question a while ago. I've always been curious. My suspicion is if you're a Freemason, you probably have a passport and you probably have a library card because both of those are kind of community based or neighborly things to do. Right, it's part of being a citizen and a community member. So I always wondered about that. What are the Freemasons really free? I don't know what that means. Freemasons are not like literally free in it doesn't mean free as in like I don't know, free from you can't just do whatever you want and then say, well, I'm a Freemason, so I'm free to break the law. That's not what the free and Freemason means, right? The free and Freemason refers to our ability to, what it did refer to, the ability for stonemasons to travel from job site to earn their wages. It also referred to free as in a type of stone called freestone. Rick Young, if you hit the like and subscribe button, please let me know. And if you didn't, please do so. Another 5 minutes and we'll start on the main topic of scams. Scams in 2026 are growing, unfortunately. Nice, Kevin. That's awesome. I have a library card for Windsor, and I think that's very cool that you have one for Texas. Um, we should all, I think, get library cards. Even if you don't use library cards, sorry, even if you don't use the library, you should still get a library card because the more people that are registered and that have library cards, that indicates to the people who are responsible for funding municipal programs that the library is popular and it's more likely to result in more funding going to your local library. So get a library card even if you don't plan to use it. Or get a library card and then maybe check out the library. You might find some cool stuff. As Um, Kevin Fort Worth said, there's a lot of stuff in libraries outside of books. There's DVDs, there's movies, there's digital rental services very often. So check those things out. It's important. And it's cool. I mean, King, I can't tell if you're being racist or not. It kind of sounds like you are, but welcome nonetheless. Thank you for being here. Did I listen to Mac? I did not listen to Mac DeMarco. My day is going well, Pumpkin Squirrel. How's your day going? Thank you for being here. And don't forget, my day is going very well because I just made it over 4,000 subs, for which I'm grateful. So now we're on the road to 5,000. So let's see what we can do. Some people want to be Masons. And if they don't, what do I care? I want to be a Mason. That's what matters to me, right? I'm not on this stream to get other people to be Masons. I'm on this stream because I'm happy to be a Mason and I want to talk about it. Um, well, King, please hit like, please hit subscribe. What matters most is I'm handsome looking. That's the most important thing. Thank you. Yeah, it's work, it's effort, but you just keep trying and keep grinding away, and slowly you get more and more. What is it to be a Mason? To be a Mason is to be a member of a Masonic lodge. Well, that's to be a Freemason, right? A Mason is somebody who works with stone. They're builders. But a Freemason is someone who um, is a member of a Masonic lodge, member of a group. It's basically a club or membership designation. Thank you, Kevin. That's very kind of you. I appreciate that. Um, I mean, I like to think that the Supreme Being, define as you will, loves everyone, whether they be Canadian, American, or anywhere else, or Israeli, or anywhere else in the world. Um, Hello, Pratham. Thank you for being here. I hope you're doing well. Please hit like and subscribe. And don't forget, I am a member of a Masonic Lodge in Israel, so keep that in mind. Lodge Holy Land number 50 out of Tel Aviv. I'd love to visit it one day. I'm not sure when I'll be able to get over there, but it'd be incredible if I ever got the opportunity. Where am I from? Canada. Born and raised in Windsor. Born and raised in Winnipeg. Currently live in Windsor. 8 votes. Have you been targeted for scams? Was it a Masonic scam? Yes, 50%. No, 50%. Thank you for being here from India. Thank you for the love from India. There's a lot of really cool Freemasonry in India, actually. So I'm grateful that you're here. Um, well, Kevin, you're gonna have to get used to people doing that on YouTube. Unfortunately, YouTube can be an interesting place with people. Um, we have a lot of interesting things to say. So long as they are not using racial slurs or swears or whatever it might be, then I generally give it a pass as a general rule. So long as people remember that we within Freemasonry are not a religion, nor ethnicity, nor political. Ketchup chips. Thank you, Pumpkin Squirrel. That's incredibly kind of you. We got 10 votes. Let's see. Yes, 50%, no, 50%. Hello again, Michael Moore. Thank you for being here. Once again, I hope, as always, you're doing well. Please take a moment, hit like, hit subscribe. Any thoughts you have on Freemasonry, positive, negative, or neutral, I'd love to hear them. And I look forward to seeing you at the Rusty Nail degree on the 27th, so less than 2 weeks. That will be an absolute blast. I look forward to it. I love the Detroit Masonic Temple. I think it's beautiful. And it's definitely a gem in Freemasonry. Speaking of scams, HJD says he sent me $1 million. So there you go. That's a good example of a scam, because then you check to see if he sent you $1 million. You find out he hasn't. He tells you, send me your credit card info so I can send it to you. And then here we be. So nobody fall for these scams. It's dangerous. 11 votes. The no is 55%. Thank you for the donut holes as well. That's very kind of you, Pumpkin Squirrel. All right, let me get the information I wanted to get so we can start talking about this. All of this stuff, by the way, is posted on social media. I know it's just a joke, but I'm saying it's a good example. It's one way that people will scam you, right? What they do is they send you a message saying, they'll put in the subject RE hyphen I sent you $1 million. You see the RE in the subject line and you immediately assume, oh, they're replying to an email I sent, so I must have already been talking to them and just forgot about it because it's a reply. So you forget that they can just type that in and you assume it's a reply to something you've already seen or sent to them first. You then, click on it and it says, I've sent you $1 million. Congratulations. I am the estate executor for so-and-so who asked me to send you $1 million. I've sent it to you. I've sent it to your bank. Can you please confirm? And a lot of people say, how could anybody fall for that? How can anybody be so stupid? You're having a bad day. You're not paying attention. You're not following through. You're not in the right mind space. It's easy to fall for things sometimes, right? And in those situations, you fall for it. You check your bank. There's nothing in there. You send a message back. There's nothing in there. They ask for your bank information to confirm and to resend it, and then they clean you out. It happens all the time, unfortunately. Thank you, Kevin Fort Worth. That's incredibly kind. Let me just get this here quickly. I always forget to set up my text-to-speech app right away.
At Kevin Ford Worth number 14 United States dollars and 99 cents. Thanks for being open about things we are curious about.
You are welcome, and I try my best to be open about things you're curious about. Kind of would defeat the purpose of this channel if I talked about things I was curious about exclusively and nobody else, right? All right, so this is a message that I saw on Facebook a little while ago. Let's see, and let me just pull it up and go through it with you guys. Hello, Toe Thoughts. Welcome back once again. Why is it that whenever I need something, I can never find it, but whenever it's always the way it goes. Oh, here it is. All right, we got it. All right. So this is a message that was posted on social media, April 30th, 9:34. So April 30th, 9:34 p.m. Brethren, I regret to inform you that several Masons have recently responded to scams after believing they were communicating with the Grand Lodge officer or District Deputy Grand Master. These scammers are requesting gift cards, passwords, money, or sensitive information. In one recent report, a brother sent $700 in gift cards to a scammer, believing the request was from a DDGM, District Deputy Grand Master, on the night of an official visit. The scammer used the DDGM's full name and even knew an official visit was scheduled that evening. Please remember, no legitimate Grand Lodge officer or DDGM will ask you to send gift cards, passwords, or sensitive information by email, text, or message. Slow down, verify the request by calling the brother directly, using a trusted phone number, and report suspicious activities and report suspicious messages immediately. Um, this is somebody out of Texas, by the way. So just keep that in mind. So this just happened in Essex County. It's happening in Texas. It's happening across North America. It's happening across Ontario, in point of fact. The biggest message there is slow down. One of the ways that scammers create, that scammers have success is they create a false sense of urgency, right? They don't say, I need money in about a week. They say, I need money now. I need money immediately. Because that doesn't give you a chance to think about it and does give you a chance to actually ask questions or verify or confirm. They want to keep you off guard, and a good way to keep people off guard is by forcing them to rush into things. I'm going to go through common red flags in a second, if I could find it. Here it is. So some common red flags. Well, it doesn't have to be always an inside job, Toe Thoughts. It could just be, again, so like I'm a member of 5 Masonic lodges. Windsor Lodge 403 is one of them. You could create a bot and you could send an email to windsor@gmail.com, windsorlodge@gmail.com, windsorlodge403@gmail.com, windsor403@outlook, Windsor. Like you could create 50 different send emails to 50 different addresses, all created by bots, all variations of the name Windsor Lodge 403, and just hope that, one or two of them are correct. And then, yeah, it costs you a couple bucks, but, you might be willing to spend $100 sending out 10,000 emails to different Masonic Lodge possible email addresses. All you need is 2 or 3 people to respond, and of those 2 or 3, one person to send you a couple grand, and you've made your money back, right? Data leaks are possible as well, but again, it could just be someone gets their email hacked. So phishing alert, protect yourself and your lodge. Scammers are targeting Masons by impersonating Grand Lodge officers through emails, texts, and messages. Common red flags, urgent requests for gift cards, money, or payments. Messages asking for passwords, account details, or personal information. Email addresses that look unusual or slightly incorrect. Pressure to act quickly or keep the request secret. Suspicious links or unexpected attachments. The biggest thing about like email addresses that look unusual. So take me, right? My name is Cameron Adamson, Adamson. It's very easy for somebody to take my name, create an email address out of it, and go ADAMS, the number 0N instead of the letter O. If you're in a rush and you're not paying attention, and you get an email from me claiming to be a Mason, claiming to need help, you might look at the email address and not realize all of the letters O have been replaced with the number 0. You need to be really careful and double check. Hello, it's Rail. Thank you for being here. Hello, Hopper. So before you respond, verify the request by calling the person directly. Check the sender's full email address carefully. Do not click suspicious links or open unknown attachments. Never send gift cards, money, or confidential information, period, without verification. I would say verification by like the person's voice, talking to them on the phone, or even in person. Report suspicious messages to your lodge leadership or Grand Lodge office, or both, and also the police, I would say. Oh, I got the maple leaf. Thank you for that. When in doubt, slow down, verify, and report. Grand Lodge officers will never pressure you to send gift cards, money, passwords, or sensitive information by email or text, or any other way, I would say. Um, so unfortunately, users, some of our emails are public, some of them are private. It depends on the nature of the email. Like, unfortunately, though, you do have to keep some of your emails public. It's just the nature of the beast, right? People, non-Masons, need to be able to contact us if they're interested in joining Masonic lodges. I love the maple leaf. Thank you so much for that. That was really cool. Um, you know, I would say, and I've said this for first, I'm going to use Square Encompass Promotions, right? Me, Square Encompass Promotions, will never contact you and ask you for gift cards. We'll never tell you that joining our YouTube channel or joining our Patreon makes you a Freemason. It doesn't. We will never claim that we speak for Freemasonry or for Masonic lodges. We don't. And we'll never claim that by being part of this channel you will be a Freemason. Nor will we ever claim that, you know, we'll never pressure you for any personal information, or we'll never pressure you for any, you know, to send us gift cards, anything like that. If you become a Patreon, we do need to get your mailing address or at least a shipping address to send to you merchandise. So we will ask for your shipping or mailing address. Doesn't have to be your home, right? It doesn't have to be your home. It can be a P.O. box, whatever is best for you. But being on the Patreon, we will be sending you stuff. Or if you sign up to receive a special offer, we may need your shipping address. So keep that in mind. Freemasons, like if you are a Mason, again, a Grand Lodge officer should never be asking you for passwords, sensitive information, or for gift cards or money via text or email, or from you personally. Right? That's not how it works. What you should be doing is speaking with a Masonic lodge. If it, you know, the Grand Lodge may request, like, for example, you have your yearly dues you pay to the Grand Lodge. That's not you, the individual, paying. That's the Grand Lodge paying. So you need to keep that in, or that's the lodge itself paying. It's not you personally paying. They're never going to threaten you with suspension for not sending them gift cards or personal information. They're never going to ask for it through text or email. Right? They're never going to do any of that stuff. So you need to always remember that. Nor should they ever be contacting you personally. They should be contacting you through the lodge itself. So keep those things in mind. I think the biggest lesson we can always take from this is slow down. A scammer will try to create a false sense of urgency. A scammer will try to create a false sense of panic. You see that with, for example, you know, hey, I just ended up in jail. I need you to bail me out right away. Or I'm overseas and I can't get out. I need you to send me money. No time to check, no time to confirm. Just send me the money right away. It's up to you to slow down, don't fall for it, and verify. If, for example, like let's say you get, because this has happened, you get an email from somebody claiming to be your grand master in your district, in your jurisdiction, you may not have the grand master's contact information, in which case you need to contact your district secretary, your DDGM, or someone who may know him and let them know what's going on and confirm immediately. So you need to do that as well. And that's a really important thing also. But slow down. Don't fall for the urgency. If you're ever in doubt, speak to a lawyer and speak to the police immediately. Yes, that's true. Block them as well. Don't click on anything random. Yes, never, open a suspicious looking attachment. Never open, if you get a scam email or something that looks like a scam, don't open any attachments. Don't click on any links. That's how they try to get you as well. But again, you get again people. Unfortunately, sometimes they're struggling in life. Sometimes they're mentally weak. The way I kind of view these things is, I kind of think about it the same way I think about diseases or sickness. Right? We have a physical immune system, and that physical immune system keeps us protected if we are exposed to a virus or if we are exposed to an illness or pathogen of some sort. And the stronger we keep our immune system, the better we're able to respond or fight back against physical illnesses. The mind is the same thing. I think the mind has an immune system, and if we keep that immune system in our mind strong, we're able to push back and fight against scam emails or ideas that lead us to fall for scams. However, if we're not taking care of ourselves mentally, if we're not getting enough sleep, if we're lonely, if we are maybe not taking medications we need to take, if we're run down, if we're sad, if we're scared, if we're emotionally fragile, it's very easy to fall for a scam when we would never normally do so. It just hits us at the right moment, at the right time, when our mental defenses are a little bit weaker. That's why, again, slow down, think about things, report. I'm always recommending, if you get a scam email from somebody pretending to be a Grand Lodge officer or a Mason, write down the email address used, the contents of the message, and when you received it, and take it to your Grand Lodge representatives immediately so they know. If they get enough of these reports, they can go to the police, and maybe the police can do something. It doesn't hurt to check, and doesn't hurt to ask, right? And also let your other brothers know, hey, I've been receiving this. We need to be careful. That's awesome, Kevin. I hope you enjoy it. I'm sure it'll be really, really cool. The Silver Wanderer, check out the like and subscribe button. Now, I'm also going to say to non-Masons, if you receive any type of message, Facebook, email, whatever it might be, you are very at risk of receiving Masonic scams. So let me tell you some things that Masons will never do. Masons will never contact you in advance and pre-select you or pre-approve you to be a Freemason. Nor will Masons ever start any conversation asking you for money or claiming you need to pay them money before you can be, a Mason. That will not happen either. Masons will, never promise you that you'll become rich, you'll become famous, or you'll become powerful in exchange for paying dues or becoming a Freemason. Masons will never ask you to recruit other members in exchange for money or just to recruit them, period. So if you receive any messages or emails claiming any of the above, it's almost certainly a scam, or it is a scam. In which case, again, slow down, don't respond, take down the information, and report it to your local Masonic lodge or the police. I think we in Freemasonry need to spend more time communicating with the police about these scams so they know what they are and we know how to deal with them. So, for example, if somebody comes to the police and says, I was scammed by the Masons, they took $500 from me and promised me, riches, the police will know that wasn't Masons, that's a scam. Those are very common. It's not the Masons' fault. So they know that they're not casting aspersions on us. And Kevin, enjoy the tour. That's going to be incredible. We all get them. Unfortunately, some people do fall for them. That's why we get them, right? If nobody ever fell for them, we wouldn't get them. So, and that's why it's so important. Not just that, it's so important that people don't fall for these scams and slow down, not just for their own financial health and well-being or their own safety, but for everybody's safety. Because one person falls for one of these scams, sends $5,000 to a scammer, that scammer now has $5,000 by which and with which he can, send out 1 million more emails, 2 million more emails, whatever it might be. And next thing you know, he's got 1 million more people that are potential victims. I think everybody should become more learned, but I would include Freemasonry as well. Yeah, I think Freemasons were called to make a daily advancement in Masonic knowledge, which I think is completely fair. I think we should be learning more about Freemasonry every day and about the liberal arts and sciences. Um, Thank you for being here, everybody. I hope that some of that was good information. I hope it made sense. And I hope that you will follow it. I hope you'll follow me on social media as well, where I post these things regularly. Let me know how you're doing, and let me know if you have any thoughts on Freemasonry, positive, negative, or neutral. I know what the 33rd degree is about. I'm not a 33rd degree Mason. Um, I'm happy to stay at the 3rd degree, to be honest. I'm 18th degree, I should say. I'm happy to stay there. If I recall correctly, it's the Grand Inspector General. But it's come to Essex County. It's part of, it's come to Essex County, these scams. It's been in Texas. It's been across North America. It's very scary. So we should do our best to fight against them. We're going to give it some time. We're going to wait to see who joins. So the key lesson is slow down, think, and report. Or slow down, verify, and report. I mean, I've known many 33rd degree Masons. In my experience, none of them are involved in the occult. Again, I think the 33rd has been, for some reason, people are really overestimating the value or what, like, I don't know why the 33rd degree gets so much attention amongst conspiracy circles or conspiracy minded people. It's frustrating because it is simply one degree of many, and it is not like the most important degree in Freemasonry or anything like that. It's just one degree out of many. But there's this weird obsession with it amongst conspiracy people, and I don't understand it. Um, as always, please take a moment, hit like, hit subscribe if you're new to the stream. Any thoughts on Freemasonry, let me know. So there was just one that happened. I learned about a couple days ago, where somebody contacted a Mason, claimed to be the Grand Master. The Grand Master is the person responsible for Freemasonry in the area, in the jurisdiction. Basically, kind of like the president of Freemasons in Ontario or in Manitoba, claimed to be the Grand Master and told this Mason, I need you to send me some gift cards. I have an emergency situation. So that is using the name of a prominent Mason and using his office in order to trick others into sending him money. Or it could be sending an email to someone who's not a Mason, but telling them, hey, congratulations, you've been pre-selected to be a Freemason. All you need to do is send $500 and you're automatically a Mason and you'll get rich and famous. So it's people using either the names of Freemasons or using, the offices of Freemasons or the titles to get money from people for a variety of, illicit purposes. Right? And sometimes you'll see people sending out DMs saying, we are the Grand Order of the Masonic Illuminati, or they'll not call themselves Masons, but they'll use terms that are similar to Masonic, or they'll use pictures that are similar to Masonic as well. So, um, well, and I mean, a lot of times it's stuff online. Like even for me, right? Like I have interviews with people where, you confirm they're Mason because I talk about their Masonic career, Masonic experiences. So they could get in some cases from my podcast or other podcasts. There are dozens of podcasts on YouTube where you're interviewing Masons about their Masonic career. Or it could be that they're not sending a message to somebody specifically, but to a lodge email address. So, for example, I'm a member of Windsor Lodge 403. So, one thing that you can do is you can create a bot and you can have that bot send out 100 emails to 100 different addresses. And it can be one, email goes to windsor403 at gmail.com. One goes to Windsor Lodge 403 at gmail.com. One goes to Lodge403 at outlook.com. One goes to, Windsor Lodge at yahoo.com. You basically just keep on sending out dozens and dozens and dozens of variations on the name Windsor Lodge 403. And even if 99% of them don't go anywhere, you just need one to be correct. And then you can just say, you don't have to address it to a specific person. You can just address it to the lodge itself, right? Brethren or brother secretary. And if you're willing to spend, I don't know, maybe it costs $100, if that, to send out a couple thousand emails, the rest is history. Yeah, I mean, lifting the veil does have its negatives. It's absolutely the case, right? There are positives and there are negatives. Now, we ameliorate the negatives by being careful. So, for example, I might provide information about, like, I might interview a Mason on this channel about his Masonic journey, but I'm not going to put his email address down unless he lets me. So, for example, if I'm talking to, I don't know, a Masonic historian who wants to receive stories about Freemasonry for a book, he may want me to include his email address in order to, receive stories from the public about Freemasonry, in which case I'll put it down. But even then, it's about being smart, having very good spam filters, never responding without checking certain things, and just using common sense. But again, I've given this example before. The mind is like the body. It has an immune system that pushes against stupid ideas and stupid decisions. However, if we're not being careful enough and if we're not being mentally strong enough, sometimes we're having a really bad day, we're feeling mentally weak, we're exhausted, we're tired. We just happen to get that one email that sneaks through, that catches us at a moment of weakness, and we decide to believe the scam. It happens. No, because Freemasons did not have anything to do with 9/11, except after the fact, doing a ton of charitable work and charitable efforts to help the families of first responders. And that's the case too, Evil Toby, you're just being stupid. I take the drought humane seriously. I don't know what it means to take it seriously or not seriously. I take it seriously. I don't necessarily recognize it, but that's a different thing. Um, Everything has positives and negatives. It's human nature, right? Everything has positives and negatives. It's our responsibility and it's our job as much as possible to focus on the positives. I think that's just kind of what we have to do in life. It's human nature. And do our best to also ameliorate or mitigate the negatives. Which is, again, why I talk about how to spot scams and how to push against them. Well, I mean, real Masons, look, there are many groups that are irregular, but I nonetheless respect. I don't think clandestine is more of a disrespectful term, and some deserve it. It's just they have a different way of doing Freemasonry, which is okay. I think it's reasonable I think it's completely reasonable for everybody to find their own path, and that includes their own path within Freemasonry. Many Freemasons fought very valiantly in World War II to stop the tyranny and the evil of Hitler and the Nazis. And I mean, you can go all the way up the chain to Winston Churchill, FDR, Truman, all great Masons, all of whom pushed for freedom and making the world a better place against the darkness of Nazism. There are many veterans who also fought in World War II on the side of freedom and democracy. Yes, immortal beloved, non-stop talking indeed. How's it going? Please hit like and subscribe. If you're immortal, you can be a subscriber forever, so it'd be much obliged. Hello, bro. Which country? I am from Canada, born and raised in Windsor. Um, sorry, born and raised in Winnipeg. I always say Windsor. I don't know why. Born and raised in Winnipeg. Currently live in Windsor, Ontario. Greatest country in the greatest country in the world, in part because you have the greatest neighbors in the world. Renaj, please hit like, please hit subscribe. And I can't visit their lodges either, but that doesn't mean I don't respect them. It's kind of like, I view them the same way I view the Elks, the Moose. It's just another group, another organization, and more power to them. India, welcome from India. I hope you'll hit the like button and the subscribe button. I made it yesterday to over 4,000 subs. I'm now at 4,004, so if you can support me, I'd be much obliged. There's a lot of cool Freemasonry in India. Came over with the Brits. Thank you, Renaj. I appreciate that. Do you have any questions about Freemasonry? Any thoughts on Freemasonry? I can't make any promises. I don't know everything, but I've been a Mason for 20 years, and I like to think I know a fair bit. At least I hope I do. I mean, I've never had the pleasure of visiting Israel. I'm very sad about that because I'm sure it's a wonderful country. But I know about the history of Freemasonry in India, and that's incredible. I know a lot of people from India, and they're awesome as well. And so, yeah, I would love to visit it one day. I think it'd be incredible. Sorry to evil to hope. You're on your own. There is no, I cannot help you with that. We cannot build you a free building. We are operative. We are, sorry, speculative, not operative. So just keep that in mind. Is Buffalo Airways? I have no idea what you're talking about, airline pilot. No clue. So I wish I could help you, but I do not know what Buffalo Airways is. I mean, Buffalo is not crazy far from me, right? Buffalo, New York is not far from Ontario or Toronto at all. I'm in Windsor, but I know Buffalo Bills even played in Toronto a few times. So 30 votes. Have you ever been targeted for a Masonic scam? No, or a scam in general. No is at 60%. Yes is 40%. So there you go. More people are probably getting targeted than we realize. They may still exist, airline. I don't know. I mean, certainly many of these regional airlines are vitally important, especially getting to northern places in Canada, which very often are remote. Um, and in some cases cannot be gotten to in any way except for in planes, especially in summer. In winter, very often you can drive over the lakes, but in summer, and I've seen this a few times, people need to get to these northern Ontario towns or northern Manitoba towns exclusively by planes, especially by like little prop planes, right? Little prop planes. So it's cool. And sometimes you can exclusively get to Masonic lodges in these buildings in the same way, just through prop planes. Is the entire U.S. Canada border patrolled? I mean, consider yourself. I'm sure that there are spots where it's possible. I have no idea, but I wouldn't try it, and I don't think we should try it. First of all, because it's illegal, and so you should not do it just on that basis alone. But second, you're taking a heck of a risk, and I would not be comfortable taking that risk. Put it that way. No, I mean, I'm not a flat earther, and nobody should be a flat earther. The earth is round. So, no. Yeah, but nothing but respect for anybody who is a pilot who gets people to these remote communities. It's not just about getting them to the remote communities. Like, very often, these remote communities need people to travel to and from the communities. Like, if you have heaven forbid, you have a medical emergency, and maybe you need to get them out to get them to a hospital ASAP. You need to get supplies into the community. You have some type of emergency and you need to evacuate people. So, who needs sleep, man, Chaka? Who needs sleep? I am kept awake by the fact that I've got over 4,000 subs, and I'm grateful for that. And thank you, everybody who's helped me do that. So keep supporting the channel. I'd be truly, truly appreciative and grateful. As always, let me know if there's anything you guys want to talk about. Positive, negative, or neutral. I'd love to hear them when it comes to Freemasonry. I'm also going to be going back on my other channels soon. I don't want to forget about that channel. I feel like I haven't been focusing enough on it. So I drink a lot of coffee and I love it. Coffee is the greatest thing in the world. And I'm grateful for every time I get to drink it, that's for sure. I try to drink more water though. I'm trying to be healthy as well. I should do more of that. I mean, by the way, check out my other channel, youtube.com/at Cameron Adamson. I'd be much obliged. In India. Hello, Side. Thank you for being here. I don't know if that's a lot or a little bit. I don't really collect silver. Hello, Dutch. Is hope disappointment deferred? Some people would think that, Dutch. Like, I hope you hit the like and subscribe button, but I guess if you don't, you don't. I mean, happiness equals reality minus expectation. Another word for expectation could be hope. So I think there's something to that. I think your better bet is to simply accept life for what it is and not hope for things to be different. Um, you fight, you try your best, you work hard to create a world that you want. And I think that's a beautiful thing. But you have to accept the fact that sometimes, no matter how hard you work, you might not be successful. In which case, you should not be disappointed that you weren't successful. You should be proud that you tried. And that's the most important thing. All right, we got this guy saying this a lot. Let's just put this guy in a timeout. Once again, thank you all for being here. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Any thoughts on Freemasonry, let me know. Thank you for all the gifts. I truly appreciate it also. Yeah, I'm just going to keep hanging out. Once again, be wary, be careful when it comes to Masonic scams. That's incredibly important. I talked about those before. And follow me on social media. I ask a lot of questions or do a lot of quizzes, provide a lot of information about these scams. So just be careful. What do I know about Gandhi? I don't know much about him other than he seems like he was a man worthy of great respect and emulation. But I know very little about him. Nice, Kevin. Good for you. Go to the weekly meeting. I have no doubt you'll enjoy it. I think it'll be awesome. Have a great time there. It's nice when you get those types of invitations. But again, notice you didn't get the invite out of nowhere. You took the first step by calling them. So you are taking the right approach, right? You shouldn't be getting calls unsolicited. You should be contacting them first, and then you get the invitation. So this is my job, Renaj. I try to. I mean, there's various kind of scams everywhere. Whiskey bag. I'm doing this. This is my job. I create content and I try and turn my passion for Freemasonry into a profession. So if you want to help me out with that, hit like, hit subscribe, super chat, comment, share the stream. All of that stuff helps out big time, and I would be grateful. Good. That's exactly what they should be doing. So nothing but respect for that and nothing but respect for them in those efforts. That's exactly the approach they should be taking. Sing happy birthday to me. My name is Kisa. I subscribed. You don't want to hear me sing, Kisa. Fun World? I'm a terrible singer, so believe me, you don't want to hear me sing. You'll get rid of your subscription very fast that way. But if it is your birthday, happy birthday. I don't know how old you're turning. Always remember, if you're under the age of 18, make sure you have your parents' permission to be on YouTube, to be following any channel. '19. Well, there you go. So you don't need to worry about that. I do try to give that warning every now and then, just because we get kids on here, and I do swear sometimes, etc., etc. So sometimes I like to give that warning once again. I cannot sing any songs from India or anywhere else. I can promise you that. And you do not want me singing. I will lose subscribers so fast. But happy birthday. I hope you have a great one. Genuinely. I will say, since age was brought up, if you want to join Freemasonry, you normally need to be either 21 or 18. It depends on the jurisdiction. Like in Michigan, you need to be 18. In Ontario, you need to be 21. Thank you. Yeah, it took a lot of work, and we're still working on it now. Next goal, 5,000. So we'll see if we can get there. One at a time, right? And as always, hit like, hit subscribe. Any thoughts on Freemasonry, please let me know. How many times? Well, I mean, it depends. Everybody's different, right? For me, it took about, well, I've had this channel for 5 years, but I started doing daily live streams about a year ago. And that's when it really started to explode. Or, I mean, relatively speaking, I use the term explode, realizing that 4,000 is not an explosion compared to a lot of other people's, but nonetheless, you know, but some people, especially if they're like, this isn't my natural thing. I never went to school for editing or any streaming or anything like that. I just kind of started doing it. And because I love talking about Freemasonry, and I want to turn my passion for Freemasonry into a profession. So the rest is kind of history. And we're going to keep hanging out. We're just going to keep waiting to see who joins. As always, any thoughts on Freemasonry, let me know. It is so Canada is a big country, and we have different time. We have different time zones. But in my time zone, Eastern Standard, it is 2:51 p.m. We're going to keep, again, hanging out. We're just going to wait to see who joins. Oof, 12:22 a.m. So get yourself to sleep, but not before considering a super chat, hitting like, hitting subscribe. What part of India are you from, Ranaj, if you don't mind my asking? Because there are a lot of Masonic lodges in India. And if you go to the Grand Lodge of India website, you should be able to find where you can contact them and where you can get in touch if you're interested in joining. Delhi? Okay, I know there's a lot of Masonic lodges in Delhi, right? Welcome, Trini Boss. Lodge Alex. I would love to visit a lodge in Alexandria, or sorry, in Trinidad and Tobago, Alexandria. I think that would be really, really cool. I think that'd be really fun. I'm sure it's beautiful lodge. Trini, please hit like, please hit subscribe. I would truly, truly appreciate it. I hope you're doing well. Vatex, same thing. Please hit like and subscribe. Let me know if you have any thoughts on Freemasonry. So Timbuktu is a real place. I know it sounds funny because my mom used to always say she should send me to Timbuktu. And I had no idea that that was a real place. I don't even know where it is. I think it's in Africa, right? Mali. Um, yeah, so it is in Africa. I would love to visit it because apparently it was a center of learning and education and actually a really, really important historical city for decades, for centuries, in fact. Maybe kind of fun to visit it. I love to travel, and I love to travel even to smaller, lesser known places. Um, well, a Masonic scam, it would be like any other type of scam, right? It's just using Freemasonry. So either people pretending to be Masons and contacting through social media or through email addresses, even phone calls, contacting people and claiming they've been, pre-selected to be a Freemason. And if you send me $500, you're automatically a member and you'll get rich and famous. So it's using Masonic terms, Masonic titles, Masonic symbols all of which they don't have permission to, but using those to trick people into thinking they've become Freemasons by sending in money. Or it's pretending to be a Freemason and contacting other Masons and saying like, hey, I'm the Grand Master, I'm this person, I'm that person, I'm an officer in Freemasonry. I need you to send me money. I order you to send me money or whatever it might be, right? So it's basically using Masonic symbols, Masonic titles, people who are known to be Freemasons as a way to trick people into giving them money or sensitive information. Masons don't advertise. However, that doesn't stop scammers from, contacting people and claiming to be Masons and claiming that they can join if they send money. Unfortunately, it happens all the time. Um, it is a real place. What should I wear for the first meeting? Kevin, you have to talk to the lodge itself and ask them because I don't know if they have a dress code or not. Like in Ontario, we have a dress code. It's usually suit and tie, but that's assuming you're going to a meeting. If you're just going to a meet and greet, I think business casual is perfectly fine. But talk to them and just ask them. So you can do whatever you want, Vatek, but if you create your own Masonic lodge, it's not going to be recognized or regular, which means I won't be able to visit it, nor will anybody else be able to visit it, nor could you visit any other Masonic lodges. If you want to join Freemasonry, you need to approach them. You need to approach a local Masonic lodge in your area and express your interest in joining. It really is that simple. Now, there's a process. Approaching them and expressing your interest is simply the first step of many, but that's still the first step, right? You approach them, you express your interest in joining, and you go from there. So, Vatek, please hit like, please hit subscribe. And yeah, a lot of people think you need to be invited. You don't. In fact, Masons don't invite. A lot of people think you need to kind of show, you need to, be rich or famous or blah, blah, blah. None of that is true. All that matters at the start is that you're approaching the lodge and expressing your interest of your own free will and accord. That's it. Yeah, I mean, if you know the person, he should welcome you when you ask. But again, keep in mind that's just the first step, not every step. That's just the first step, right? Every lodge, depending on their location and their jurisdiction, will have a slightly different process. But ultimately, it comes down to the same thing: you getting to know them getting to know you. Dexter Morgan, I'm not going to say guess what because you're going to say chicken butt, and I don't want to deal with that. Wasn't there yesterday, HT. Please hit like, please hit subscribe. Let me know how you're doing. Any thoughts you have on Freemasonry, positive, negative, or neutral? I'd love to hear it. And please hit like and please hit subscribe. I would be much obliged. We are, like I said, growing in. It's just me, or am I not the most? I think that's better. For some reason, I think I wasn't in focus. So very sorry about that. Hopefully, I'm now in better focus. I think, though, I do need to get myself. I think my lighting is a little bit messed up as well. Well, we'll work on it. For the time being, please hit like, please hit subscribe. Any thoughts on Freemasonry, positive, negative, or neutral? Let me know. Well, you shouldn't, right? I mean, one of the kind of the standards that you see across jurisdictions, no discussion of politics, no discussion of religion in lodge, which I'm actually absolutely a fan of. I think that's appropriate. Now, outside of lodge, I mean, who knows? People can discuss it. It happens, of course. But within a lodge, no discussion of religion or no discussion of politics, I think is the right approach to take. It's going to happen. Human beings are human beings. You can tell them as much as you want, don't discuss religion or politics. we live in a hyper partisan, hyper political world, so it's going to pop up, right? All we can do is our best to try to avoid it. We're going to just keep hanging out, wait to see who joins. Any thoughts on Freemasonry, positive, negative, or neutral? Let me know. Let me just see this. And I hope that you guys will check out my community page. Answer some of my poll questions. Every day this month, I'm posting a different quiz regarding national preservation. Regarding Preservation Month and the National Register of Historic Places in the United States. Can you sing the name Alaya? No, I'm not going to sing any names because I'm bad at singing. I mean, many Freemasons find out about me. Many Freemasons know about me. I'm here talking about Freemasonry. So, what can I say? Some Masons support what I'm doing, some Masons don't. It's one of those things where, I think that Freemasonry just needs to be more out there, more in the world, more relevant to people's lives, and that includes through things like live streaming. So that's my personal opinion. I know some Masons agree with that, some Masons disagree with that, which is perfectly fine. If we all agreed, Freemasonry would be very boring. Yes, I got a big nose. Awkward position. Hit that like and subscribe button. Help me keep growing this channel. Like I said, I've made it to over 4,000, which is incredible. I'm hoping very soon I'll get to over 5,000. Well, you got to have a great attitude if you're going to be not stuck on, but working on YouTube, doing live streams. There's going to be a lot of people who troll you. You just kind of have to get used to it. We're just going to keep hanging out. Really, after my main topic today of scams, how to see them, how to deal with them, I figured at this point it's just about me hanging out and chatting with people, waiting to see who wants to join. I'll be back on at 1 a.m. as well. What do you want to know? By the way, Rusty Nail, it's an interesting name you have because I'm actually attending a Rusty Nails degree on attending a Rusty Nails degree on May 27th. So that's interesting. You picked a very good Masonic name. My day is going well. Rusty Nails. Oh, sorry, Courtney. How's your day going? I know I just saw you a little while ago. Thank you for being back. And by the way, thank you for all your support. As you may have seen, we are at over 4,000 subs. And so you're a big part of the reason for that, your support. So thank you so much. I really appreciate it. You could be, it's very possible, but you still don't own the degree. Um, Nobody owns a Masonic degree. I mean, the ritual, I guess you could argue, is owned by the custodian of the work. But even then, it's not so much owned by, but rather just cared for by. No Mason owns the work. It's passed down generation to generation. Well, you could be, although as general rule, trolling is not the best approach to take for anything in life, at least in my experience, even if it is meant to be friendly. Well, there you go. Hello, I still see your rusty nails. I know you're still there. How many hours do I stream each week? I mean, probably. So usually my 1 p.m. streams it'll be 3 to 4, and then my 1 a.m. stream. So probably what, 6 to 8 per day. So about 40 hours a week, give or take. Um, I think would be rough. Plus weekends I stream sometimes, and then that doesn't also include. Um, that doesn't include, for example, anything else I post or produce content wise, like my quizzes and poll questions and things like that. I've heard about From. I hear it's like uh Lost a little bit. I know it has one of the characters from Lost in it. My hobbies, I mean, I love scary movies. I love professional wrestling. Um, I'm being a referee for professional wrestling. I would say those are my two most common hobbies. I enjoy exercise more and more. I used to not like it, but I'm growing to enjoy it a little bit more. So I suppose those would be my three. I mean, I love anything scary and I love anything kind of psychologically scary. So I think I'd enjoy it. I'll check it out. I mean, I'm trying to make it my full-time job. If you want to support me making it my full-time job, please consider a super chat, hitting the like button, hitting the subscribe button. Believe me, all that stuff helps out big time, and I would be truly grateful. Become a Patreon. You can become one for free. That helps out as well. I will check it out for sure. It's on my list. Um, when I have time, I don't have a lot of time to watch television, not as much as I'd like, but I'll see what I can do. Might be fun to maybe do some watch-alongs on my other channel, youtube.com/Cameron Adamson. And for the time being, we're just still hanging out, chatting, waiting to see who joins. No specific topics for this one. Just waiting to see who wants to jump in the chat and say hello. So, I mean, so far just this. I have savings as well because I worked as a probation officer and I worked in a jail. So I have some savings. Also got some help from family, which I'm very grateful for. And then the rest of it is this. So keep working on it. Keep helping me out. Keep helping me grow. My Freemason community angry. Well, no one should be angry at me, but many people are, in fairness. I've learned over the years you can't let how other people feel about you affect your day-to-day life. You need to just focus on you and what you can do. Without, some people are going to support you, some people are going to not support you, some people are going to think you're great, some people are going to think you're terrible. It's your responsibility to do what you think is best and kind of let the chips fall where they may. But again, IRAP, if you want to help make sure that I'm able to earn a living, hit like and hit subscribe and comment and share and do a super chat. At the White House at 2 a.m. Well, I mean, if the White House doesn't like me, I'm probably in a lot of trouble, in fairness. I try to be direct. I think it's helpful. I mean, YouTube's one of those places where directness, I find, with the audience is usually of benefit. We're gonna keep hanging out. Wait to see who joins. Again, no specific topics for this stream after I talked about Masonic scams. Now we're back just hanging out, chatting about whatever. After Trump came, I mean, if Trump is talking about me, I'm in a lot of trouble because I'm not a fan of Donald Trump at all. So if Donald Trump is talking about me, that's quite concerning. Fair enough. I wrap. There's no worries. Thank you for being here. I don't think you can do that, but try your best. I wish you best of luck. No, I mean, it's not weird. I don't think. I mean, because it just shows that you care and you want to do a good job. I don't know. I don't think it's weird. I hope that you have a really successful successful visit. I'm sure you will. But just, enjoy it. Don't take it too seriously. Just enjoy it and have fun. That's all that matters, right? Enjoy it and have a good time. And don't take it too seriously, right? That's what's going to cause you to get nervous. You're just meeting with some guys. That's all. You're just meeting with some guys for fun. It'll be really enjoyable, I've no doubt. and call YouTube away. But Kevin, yeah, I think that just shows you care, and that's a good thing. And the Masons will see that as well, right? The Masons are going to meet. They will see that you care, and they will really appreciate it. I just sharpen. Don't be sharpening any daggers, sacrificial or otherwise, because we don't want to be making any sacrifices. Hello, wow underscore guy underscore wow. Thank you for being here. I hope you're doing well. Please take a moment, hit that like and subscribe button. And wow underscore guy underscore wow, please hit like and subscribe. Sayok, how's it going? Thank you for being here. I hope you're doing well. Take a moment, hit like, hit subscribe. Truly be appreciative. And getting nervous about meeting new people, Kevin, that makes a lot of sense. I get it. I can understand that completely. It can be very nerve-wracking to potentially meet a lot of new people, but again, just enjoy yourself, have fun. You're not, they're going to see that you are nervous because you care, and that is going to be a very good thing because it's going to indicate that you do care, right? It's better than the opposite, you not caring at all. That to me would be way more concerning than the alternative. What am I selling? I'm not selling anything other than I suppose myself in a weird way. I think that's what you do on YouTube, right? I started Square and Compass Promotions to promote the ways that Freemasonry was and is relevant to the communities in which it's located and to turn my passion for Freemasonry into a profession. So I'm hoping you'll hit like, I'm hoping you'll hit subscribe, I'm hoping you'll support the channel with some super chats and gifts and help me turn my passion for Freemasonry into a profession by creating this content. Would be much, much obliged. And I'm grateful to be at, as of right now, over 4,000 subs. Hopefully I can get to over 5,000 soon enough. Well, Freemasons have private ceremonies and rituals. The reason being, it's like having a family recipe. The reason a family will keep its recipe private is because it's a way to maintain the bonds of brotherhood between past, present, and future generations of the family. We might share the results, obviously, like if it's a family recipe for cookies, we'll share the cookies with you, but we're not going to share the recipe itself. In the same way, Freemasonry, what we pass down to past, present, and future generations is our ritual and our ceremony. And maintaining the privacy of those ceremonies helps to maintain the bonds of brotherhood. So there you go. Freemasons are not like the Illuminati. Illuminati was formed in 1776 and really hasn't existed in any meaningful way for like 100 years or even more than that. So no, we are not like the Illuminati. People who are conspiracy theorists think we are, unfortunately, but we are not. Completely separate organizations. I need to get some more guests. I'm working on it. I've just been so busy focusing on my live streams. I haven't had time to focus on guests lately, but I'm working on it. He just sent me last month's newsletter. There you go. So you'll be fine, Kevin. Just don't take it too seriously. Relax and enjoy it. You'll be fine. Oh, nice. What'd you get? What's your McDonald's order? Because that's the ultimate question, Courtney. What is your Masonic, or sorry, what is your Masonic? What is your um McDonald's order usually? Nice, Spirit. I hope you enjoyed it. Deacons are really awesome positions. To be a deacon is a really special office, both junior deacon and senior deacon. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm sure you did. That is awesome. And once again, we got the picture reminded me of Spirit, which I do miss. Spirit was great. Hey, Big Mac, nothing's wrong with that. There should be. I wish I could go to McDonald's as a Mason and get like a secret part of the menu. I think that would be really, really fun, but I cannot, sadly. 50 votes? I'm interested to see. Looks like most people have not been targeted for these type of scams, but 30% have. So, and I mean, all it takes is one person to fall for the scam and then send them a lot of money, and now they've got thousands of dollars which to use to hurt other people. So we want to make sure whoever, even if it's 20%, 30%, 50% being targeted, we want to make sure it's a 0% success rate, right? That's the most important thing. For me, it's chicken McNuggets, fries, um, pop, and then with sweet and sour sauce and honey. That's the best. Although I will go for a cheeseburger sometimes. Cheeseburgers are really good as well. And we're just gonna keep hanging out, wait to see who joins. Again, no specific talking points for today, just hanging out and chatting. So whatever you want to talk about when it comes to Freemasonry, positive, negative, or neutral, let me know. Now that we're done talking about scams, way to recognize them, and what to do if you potentially receive one or approached by one. Okay, I mean, I do hope that when one becomes a legitimate Mason, you're better able to recognize scams. But even saying that, we need to keep in mind and remember that you can be a legitimate Mason and be having a bad day and fall for a scam. It's very possible. And many people, and that can be a way, ironically enough. Um, it's one of those things. It's ironic where sometimes people will be approached for a like a Masonic scam, and that will actually end up resulting in them becoming a Freemason. Because what happens is they're approached by someone who's trying to scam them, saying, "Hey, you've been pre-selected to be a Freemason." that piques their interest. They actually contact the local legitimate Masonic lodge as a consequence of that, right? And they ask, like, hey, I've just been told I've been priest-led to be a Freemason. Can you confirm, deny? But that initial contact, followed by contacting the lodge to verify, they end up becoming Freemasons. So sometimes scammers can actually, you end up actually becoming a Freemason legitimately because you follow up on a scam. So that's a really interesting thing that does happen sometimes, maybe more so than people realize. I mean, smart, Courtney. That's very smart. That's the way to do. Good spirit. Always inform your brothers. That's absolutely the right thing to do. So good for you. That is exactly what you should be doing. I mean, when you say tell you a story about the Illuminati formed in 1776 by a gentleman named Adam Weishaupt, who was an ex-Mason, a former Mason, who decided he did not like Freemasonry for a variety of reasons, and started his own group as a consequence of that. I would say for me personally, I have no issue with the idea. Look, if any group wants to form, I don't care if you want to call yourselves the Illuminati or whatever, I'm fine with that. My concern is how the Illuminati name has been used to scam so many people out of so much money, and how so often it finds itself connected, unfortunately connected to Freemasonry, which I think is a really dangerous and bad thing as well, and really harmful thing. Hello, Gooey. Welcome back again. Yes, please hit like and subscribe. And I hope that you are doing well. So again, there are occasions where, hey, the scammers actually do good for us by encouraging people to check out our Masonic buildings for our Masonic lodges legitimately, but it's rare. It's very rare. So just be careful, be smart, use your head. All of the things I suggested a couple hours ago, do those. Make sure you do those. And yeah, kind of go from there. Check your, for example, check email addresses, make sure they look legitimate. Don't click on suspicious links. Beware of any promises to be rich, famous, successful as a consequence of joining Freemasonry. If they're asking for money up front, that's a big no. If they are, contacting you unsolicited, that's a big no as well. If they're using kind of copy and paste looking language or something that looks like it's been repeated multiple times, all of that stuff needs to be a warning, and you need to take steps like contacting the authorities, ignoring or blocking the message, documenting what happened, etc., etc. Yes, Spirit of Justice making great points. No, the Illuminati does not need you to send them gift cards. The person who is emailing you is scamming you, or trying to scam you. And I know you're probably being sarcastic, but no. So please make sure that you don't. Please make sure you're not sending him any gift cards. Nathaniel, I don't know who that is, but I hope it's a handsome person. Please hit like and subscribe. I would truly appreciate it. I'm sure that's true. I mean, there's been many famous politicians who've been Freemasons, but there's also been many poets and janitors and plumbers and lawyers and doctors and architects, people who are unemployed, people on pension. Freemasonry has, been represented in a variety of different professions throughout the years. But yeah, in some cases, it's politicians, either at the local level, state level, or national level. I mean, define very few. I've actually met a couple stonemasons who are also Freemasons recently. Maybe less than you would think. Who knows? We're going to keep hanging out. We're going to keep waiting to see who joins. Please, once again, take the moment, hit like and subscribe. Yes, that is very true. Authentic Freemasonry does none of those things. I don't know what a pipe mason is. I think maybe you mean a plumber, which is cool. Um, I think one thing I've been kind of grateful to see recently is in Canada and the United States, the trades getting more love. They need it. You know, a job in the trades, first of all, it can absolutely make you rich. No different than a lawyer, doctor, whatever it is. Um, it can absolutely make you rich and successful. But also, there's a lot of great value and great respect that should be given to working with your hands and working in the trades. We need them. Society would cease to function if we did not have more people in these trades, without a doubt. So, yeah, that's awesome. Also, we should show more respect to live streamers by hitting the like and subscribe button. And I am a flower jumping straight out of the asphalt. Hey, flowers out of the asphalt can be a pretty good metaphor for beauty and unexpected places or resiliency. So there you go. In some ways, Freemasonry is a uh, flower out of the asphalt in that it's resilient. Well, I don't know if it opened the fountain of youth, but I think it could maybe make you less stinky, which is a good thing. My thing is never. I mean, that's a very good piece of advice as well. Never send money up front. That's a very valuable tool, very valuable piece of advice. Never send money up front. If you are asked to send money up front, don't respond, document it, and then contact the local mason so they know that this scam. We're just going to keep hanging out. Wait to see who joins. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Any thoughts on Freemasonry, let me know. Thank you, Courtney, for that great piece of advice as well. Never send money up front. We're just going to keep chatting. Just going to wait to see who joins. No rush. Just chat. Just chat and just talk. And if you want to jump on the chat, let me know. How are we doing in terms of our... Right. No, that's very good advice. You hate to see people being taken in by scams, especially because um, one of the biggest dangers of people falling for Masonic scams, if they don't know and understand the nature of it, they may think that they've actually been scammed by Freemasons, and they may view all Freemasonry as a scam, right? That's one of those real dangers of letting these things proliferate and not pushing back against them, is suddenly somebody sends money to someone claiming to be a Freemason, saying that they are Freemasons. They get scammed, and now they have a negative view of Freemasonry, as opposed to recognizing what it is. It's people pretending to be Freemasons and using Masonic names and titles to take advantage of people. I once had someone try to pray to demons. It was baloney. I mean, I don't know what it means even to pray to demons, but I'm not one who believes in the supernatural, right? So I would say no. It does sound bogus to me as well. I'm not one for, again, I mean, people have their religious beliefs, and I can understand that, but it doesn't seem legitimate to me. Jenny, welcome. Thank you for being here. How's it going? I hope you're doing well. Hope you're having a great night, or great day, I should say. And thank you again to everybody who helped me make it to over 4,000 subs. I'm at 4,005, and I'm grateful for that. So thank you so much. We're slowly growing the channel. It's just one sub at a time. It's like Freemasonry, one sub at a time, one member at a time. That's how you grow it. Yes. Joseph, so just think about that when you think you're going to fall for a Masonic scam. How pissed you'll be to lose the money and the satanic powers. Hello, Greg Penner. Thank you for being here. I hope you're doing well. I hope you'll take a moment to hit like and subscribe. I mean, the Illuminati hasn't existed for over 100 years in any meaningful way. At this point, it's just a a organization. It's just a name that's used to scam people or to cast disrepute onto Freemasons. Unfortunately. Thank you, Greg. And you say, brother, I don't know if you're a Freemason yourself. If you have any thoughts on Freemasonry you want to share, let them know or let me know. I was talking about scams today, people using Masonic terms or Masonic titles to scam people out of money or to scam people out of passwords or sensitive information. You need to be really careful you don't fall for them. I see you, little Yahweh. I hope you're doing well. Thank you for being here. Well, there's probably a reason for that, so stop doing things that will get you banned. And why do you have 1 million accounts, by the way? Well, I mean, just because you're banned, it doesn't mean you can't watch. It just means you can't comment or interact. I would think billionaires would probably not be spending their time creating, dozens of accounts on YouTube. But hey, what do I know? That's awesome, Jenny. You should. Eastern Star is an awesome organization. They're a wonderful part of the fraternity. They're a wonderful part about what it means to be a Freemason or our Masonic community. So I hope that you do. I think that's going to be awesome. And I wish you best of luck in your search, your Masonic journey, including through Eastern Star. Thank you. I'm sure it's going to go very well. So have a great time. So the government can't tax me. I mean, paying taxes is a patriotic thing to do, I think. So no, you should still pay your taxes. In my humble opinion. It's like putting my money in Panama. I think they can get your money in Panama, for the record. I don't know if you necessarily be safe with your money in Panama. I would not take any financial advice from little Yahweh, for the record. I'm going to throw that out there. I would not do it. I don't think you are. I don't think you are. Let me know if anybody watching this has any thoughts on Freemasonry, positive, negative, neutral, wants to hang out. Alex, Real MF. Real MFers, hit the like and subscribe button. Alex or Alec, do you have any thoughts on Freemasonry? I agree with that 100%, Jenny. I mean, they've talked about this, the lack of civic responsibility or civic engagement in a lot of different, like they've talked about it in Bowling Alone by Bowling Alone by I can't think of his name now. Robert Putnam. He wrote about that. He also wrote about it or produced a movie called Join or Die, which is about the exact same thing, the lack of civic engagement. I absolutely think it's harming our country's well-being. At least it's harming our community's well-being. And so I absolutely think that's the case. I agree with you. I hope over time we start to see a growth once again in Masonic engagement. I'd love to see that. And like civic engagement in general. Doesn't have to be Masonic. It could be Masonic. It could be the Moose. It could be the Elks. It could be any number of different groups and organizations. Um, I love everybody, but you make it challenging, little Yahweh. Um, but Jenny, I agree. I think we need to see a greater degree of civic engagement. I think that is going to make our communities better. That is going to make our world better. Um, well, I mean, there's different types of freedom, right? Within Freemasonry, obviously, the free in Freemasonry has a very specific or specific meanings. I mean, you could argue if you're dropped off in the desert, you're as free as you can possibly be, but very soon you're going to be hungry and thirsty and tired and cold, and you might not feel so free at that point. Um, it was good, little Yahweh. It was fine. Just took a couple minutes. It was a quick phone call, but it wasn't Masonic Brothers, so I wanted to respond to him quickly. And I got back on here, no problem, so it worked out great. People do need others in life. It's human condition, right? I absolutely agree with that, Jenny. People always ask me what is the purpose of Freemasonry. I say at its core, it is to fulfill that need. Just like you said there, people need others in life. I think we are trying to fulfill that need through Freemasonry. And it's one way of many to fulfill that need, but I think it's a very valuable way. So yeah, I agree with you 100%. I mean, Freemasonry is probably for people who don't want to be. I don't know what you mean by solo. Like single? Like there's some Freemasons who are married, some who are single, some who are divorced. Um, or do you mean like people without friends? I mean, if you're looking for friends and you're struggling to find them, then I think Freemasonry can be a great place to go to look for that without question. It's up to you, where you want to find your friends, but Freemasonry can be a good place to look. Those are good channels. I mean, I would also suggest, Courtney, you can check out obviously High Altitude Investing. That's a great channel. You can also check out obviously Masonic Roundtable. But I appreciate your support very much, and I'm grateful. Do you play tennis? I do not play tennis. But there's actually a tennis tournament here in Windsor recently, wheelchair tennis tournament, which I wanted to check out. Um, but I do not play tennis. I mean, so Masonic lodges have their own schedules, obviously, of when they have meetings. So they're not going to modify their meeting schedules for you. It's up to you to modify your schedule for to visit, right? Or to attend. I don't even know I'd say the word visit is fair. It's up to you to modify your schedule to visit Masonic lodges and make sure you're visiting regularly. Visiting is an incredibly important part of Freemasonry. In my experience, if you care, you will find a way to make it and to visit Masonic lodges. But you have to care first and foremost. I mean, if you want to learn tennis, I say learn tennis. Anytime you're getting involved in physical activity, I think is a really good thing. Hello, Sticky. I can't pronounce all that. I was going to call you Sticky. I hope you're doing well, and I hope you'll hit the like button and the subscribe button. Let me know if you have any thoughts on Freemasonry, positive, negative, or neutral. I'd love to hear it. How do you have so many? How do you have so many? How do you have so many accounts? I'm very impressed with the number of accounts that you have. It's quite impressive. I will say that. Honestly, Mr. Palad, some Masons have their own bowling teams. Some Masons have their own baseball teams or softball teams. It absolutely happens and is absolutely the case. So, yeah. I mean, I think more Masonic lodges should try to develop their own bowling teams and things like that. I think that'd be really cool. But many Masons organize bowling nights and special events and special celebrations. It happens all the time. I think bowling's a really good one because it's something you can do even if you have like you're older, you have different abilities, you're disabled. Usually there's still a way that you can modify bowling to do something with. Um, but I mean, some organize softball games or softball tournaments, right? Whatever it might be. That's awesome, Courtney. Obviously, keep in mind it's for entertainment purposes only. Cryptocurrency can obviously be very dangerous. You know, it's an investment like anything else. It's a risk. Um, how many of these people do we possibly have? Tennis is very sensible. What are you talking about? You're hitting a ball with a you're hitting a ball with a racket. Seems like a sensible thing to do to little old me. If you're just joining us once again, please take a moment, hit like, hit subscribe. Cassie Pike, thank you for being here. Once again, Freemasonry is not a religion, but there are many Christian Freemasons who would say and who would agree that that Freemasonry, that Jesus loves them or loves us. It just depends on the religious belief of the member. So is it Cassie or Casey? I don't think you are. I don't think you are. But I don't think anybody should be a scumbag as well. Please take a moment though, hit like, hit subscribe, and let me know how you're doing if you are in fact new here. I did not think so. Well, so I mean, when I say Masonic scams, what I mean is people pretending to be Masons, people using Masonic terms and fake Masonic symbols to convince people to send them money or to convince Masons to send them money. And it happens all the time. It would be, a good example would be me pretending, let's say I never joined Freemasonry, but I sent an email to somebody saying, I'm a Freemason. You've been pre-selected to join Cameron's Masonic Lodge. Just send me $500 and you'll be an automatic member. And as a consequence of being an automatic member, you'll become rich and famous. That's an example of a Masonic scam. Or somebody getting sent a message saying, you know, I'm the Grand Master of the Freemasons. I need you to send me $500 and I'll reward you with riches and fame. It's people using Masonic symbolism and Masonic terms to trick people into thinking they're Masons and then taking from them money or sensitive information or passwords or whatever it might be. Nice. Hey, that's really cool, Courtney. I mean, sometimes it's about displaying your items is as important as having them, right? Your Masonic items, your books, whatever they might be, are nice, but unless you have a nice place on which to display them, they might just sit there unrecognized or unappreciated. So I did not know Canada is co-hosting the World Cup. Clearly, I'm not paying enough attention to things. I mean, honestly, CEO, they'll target anybody. I mean, very often it's a phishing scam, right? Which means they'll send out thousands of emails and thousands of direct messages, every hour and just hope they get a bite. All they need is one person to bite, and next thing you know, they've got thousands of dollars. Um, I do as well. And part of the solution to that and making sure you're dealing with spam emails is making sure you have a good spam filter set up. So spam emails are not getting through by accident. But at the same time, also make sure, in the context of that, that when it comes to your spam folder, every now and then you check it because sometimes you will get legitimate emails from, let's say, your secretary in Freemasonry that somehow get spammed. And there are ways to deal with that in a safe, responsible way. We would call ourselves the Cameron Masons, but I would never, for the record, create a fake Masonic group. So just keep that in mind as well. But unfortunately, there's a lot of scams of a lot of different sorts. Freemasonry is just one of them. Nice. That's awesome, Courtney. I'm glad your landlord loves it. Don't forget, you guys can join my Patreon at any time and help a brother out that way. You can join for a paid amount or a free amount, both of which are incredibly helpful. Hello, City. Welcome back. Well, I mean, if you're trying, you don't need to try to behave, just behave, I suppose. But don't be friends with people on YouTube, be friends with people in real life. That's always my advice. YouTube is not a place to make friends. I mean, I consider some people, I'm grateful for my audience, I'm grateful for everybody, but focus on the friendships IRL, um, in real life. Well, that's cool, and then maybe I know you. Freemasons did not fake the moon landing. The moon landing really happened. In fact, the second the second person to ever set foot on the moon, Buzz Aldrin, was a Freemason. Okay, well, I don't know who you are though, but if I am, then I hope I'm a good friend. I mean, YouTube is real life. Obviously, it's how I make a living, or I try to make a living, anyways. But I think we also need to understand that we cannot use YouTube as a substitute for relationships in our day-to-day personal lives. That's something that Freemasonry reminds us of, right? Which is it's not simply about like Freemasonry reminds us of how important it is that we spend time with people outside of the virtual space, but in real life. No, Freemasons did not build the moon to land on it. It was already there. There you go. Join the Cameron Masons, the brand new organization. I don't like that term profane. I've never liked it. I think it's kind of a dumb term. I try my best to not use it. I've never really heard it used, to be honest, but I think it's silly. Just non-Mason is perfectly fine. Royal Blue Arch. I mean, there's the Royal Arch. I don't know what the Royal Blue Arch is. Hello, Lord Milos. I hope you're doing well. If you're new to the stream, please hit like and subscribe. I don't know if I recognize your name from before. Thank you for being here. No, too evil to hope. No, you should not. We don't need, I mean, we're already Freemasonry is struggling with, for example, people spending time on YouTube, people spending time on Netflix and on their couch. We don't need any other, we don't need any other battles at the moment. Where you come from? I'm Canadian, born and raised in Winnipeg, currently live in Windsor, Ontario. And I love Canada, greatest country in the world, in part because we have the greatest neighbors in the world. We are just hanging out. I got a big nose. What can I say? I've grown to accept it. Please hit like, please hit subscribe. Let me know if you have any thoughts on Freemasonry, positive, negative, or neutral. We're going to keep hanging out, just chatting, waiting to see who joins. No specific talking points. I already talked about scams, how to recognize what is legitimate masonry versus a Masonic scam. We'll go from there. In May 15th, sorry, what was not in the past city? And I want to say thank you to everyone once again for getting me over the 4,000 subscriber mark. Now we're on to 5,000. So let's see if we can get there. We're actually currently at 4,006. So we're on our way. That's awesome. I hope you enjoy the stream. I'm sure you'll do great at it. Streaming is fun. I enjoy it. What is the truth you will be speaking? What do you stream about? I mean, there's never been a Mason census. I would be interested to see how you would even do that. Consider yourself. That'd be fascinating to try to actually get a decent listing of how many Masons exist and their ages and their occupations. I think from a Masonic perspective, that could be really helpful for Grand Lodges to know precisely not just how many Masons there are, but their demographic breakdowns by age, by race, by religion, by occupation, by languages spoken. It'd be tough to organize though, because there is no centralized governing body for Freemasonry, right? And because there is no centralized governing body for Freemasonry, what that means is every jurisdiction would need to do their own census, and then we need that information to be gathered together. By the way, I hope everybody in Canada completed their census. It was super simple, super easy, and it helps make sure resources go where they're needed. Um, I speak on tarot card readers and such. Okay, cool. I don't know a lot about tarot, but there are some interesting connections between Freemasonry and tarot, which I'd love to check more about or learn more about. Hello, Nick. Please hit like and subscribe. Thank you, Sai. I don't know if you're being honest or if you're being sarcastic. I like to think every chat I do is fantastic. But hey, what do I know? Sometimes it's fun to just hang out, chat with people, see what you guys want to talk about. Once again, though, hit like, hit subscribe. I would be grateful. I do not know. I have no idea what you're talking about. My dad, well, I'm sure that you are, I'm sure your dad was a good person. I'm sure your dad was a good dad, but he was wrong. Freemasons are human beings like anybody else, so I'm not suggesting there aren't Freemasons who've done things wrong in the past. But I'd like to think that I'm a Freemason. Well, I know I'm a Freemason. I like to think I'm trustworthy and trusting as well. So you can trust me. At least I hope you can. Um, yeah, well, I mean, I've been going a little bit longer on these streams lately, just for fun, try something different. You know, it's cool. It's good times. Whoa, billion Brendan, you need to calm down a lot. First of all, let's not have any threats. And this idea of I have led with an intruder's name on it, who is trying to intrude upon you? Maybe focus on not being violent and not being cruel. Um, I think I'm a penguin. I don't think I'm a penguin, but I might be. I don't know. So what's with the anger, billionaire Brendan? And why don't you like Freemasons? I'm not always a fan of Freemasonry, but that's because I am one. I've earned my dislike through years of effort and work. What's your problem? And why can't you just calm down a little bit? And thank you to everybody joining. I hope you're all doing well. Please take a moment. I hope you'll hit the like button and the subscribe button, and I hope you're all having a good day. Um, well, thank you for that, CD, because I assure you I'm not a penguin, nor my secret agent. What do I think of the newly discovered? I have no idea what the newly alleged discovered that is. I'm going to assume you mean Sphinx. I have no clue. But I mean, I'm interested. I do really enjoy ancient Egypt. I think it's really cool. Not a threat or violent. Your discussion the other day was you don't think home invaders should be shot. I mean, I don't think they should be automatically shot. I think there's a lot of questions that need to be asked, right? I don't think it should be an automatic thing one way or the other. In some cases, I think it's reasonable as a self-defense mechanism. In other cases, I don't. I would need to know all the details and all the facts of the case before I did anything else. Um, right? I would need to know all the facts. I don't believe ever in a single answer of yes or no. I think it's more complicated than that when it comes to these questions of self-defense. You need to know the circumstances. Because, for example, if there's a break-in, but then the person is running away, I don't think he should be shot. Now, again, you need to always speak to a lawyer and police on these questions of legalities and self-defense and all the rest of it. But I can give you my opinion. It'd be strange to not, right? It'd be strange to not give you my opinion. What if he stole my irreplaceable piece? I would be very upset, but there's only one thing that is truly irreplaceable, and that's life. So I would not want to take somebody's life for stealing something. Again, if I was physically threatened or felt physically threatened, then it would be very different. It would just depend on a lot of circumstances. Sometimes that might be the case. Sometimes it might not be the case. I mean, again, that's why circumstances are so important. You don't always know, like, there's no simple answer. There's no always this, always that. Because it may be that, you come down the stairs and you have 1 second or less than that to decide what to do. Or it may be that you come downstairs and the person has his back to you and has no idea you're there, and you have however long it takes for him to turn around to decide what to do. You should not climb the pyramids because I would think it would be incredibly dangerous and could really hurt you. So I wouldn't. Plus, you could damage a ancient artifact that is irreplaceable. I know I said nothing's irreplaceable, but it could be. So aside from the danger to yourself of falling and hurting yourself, it's damaging a 1,000-year-old artifact. No, X. Please hit like and subscribe. I don't know what that is, but there are many places where you cannot climb these things, right? You cannot climb the rocks or the whatever it is for valid reasons. It could be dangerous, it could be protected, it could be something that maybe you could damage endangered plants or whatever it might be. So, no, you absolutely should. Um, it's absolutely completely fair to expect it's completely fair to expect countries, cities, communities to preserve and protect their special sites, be they natural, archaeological, historical, or all of the above, which is perfectly fair. I think we should be respectful then of the Aborigines. I mean, there are some gypsy Freemasons, I'm sure, but we're completely separate. Don't do that. That made me very sad. completely separate institutions, organizations. Gypsies would be a culture or maybe even ethnicity. Freemasonry is neither. Fair and square, using my own name against me. I eat rocks. Well, don't do that and talk to a doctor. I feel like that'd be incredibly dangerous. Gators eat rocks. I mean, I'm sure that's true, but you are not an alligator, right? You are not an alligator, so let's not be doing that. I mean, I don't think I've ever known any gypsies, but I'm sure they're wonderful people. Like, I don't know. Let's be nice about the gypsies, please. I might do some push-ups today. I mean, Freemasons, I'm sure, I have no doubt that gypsies, I have no doubt there have been some, I think the term is Romana, right? I think that's the correct term. Hold on just one second. What is the proper term for, I think it's Romana, if I recall correctly. Let me double check. Romani, yes, Romani people. I'm sure that there have been many Romani people who've been Freemasons. Um, Romani people are from, um, let's see if I can find this. Now I'm trying to figure this out. Where are Eastern Europe? Okay, there's been a ton of Freemasonry within Eastern Europe as well as Northern India, the Rajasthan and Punjab regions. Um, so yeah, there's been a lot of Freemasonry in Eastern Europe, a lot of Freemasonry in Northern India. I have no doubt there's been many Romani people who've been Freemasons and have added greatly to the history, the to the history of and the kind of tableau that is Freemasonry. It'd be fun to actually do some research on that. Maybe one day I'll get around to doing that and studying what is the history of the Romani people and Freemasonry. I think that could be really fun. I have been to Memphis and I've been to Tennessee. I've never been to Egypt, I'm very sad to say, but I would love to visit it at some point. I think it'd be incredible. Oh, I've never been to Egypt, period. Now, I think it would be incredible and I would love to do it. But sadly, never been. I mean, but Egypt, a stonemason's dream, right? There's no question about that. So I've never rode on an E-Jeep. I have no idea why Osiris is green. I do not know if billionaires cryogenic like mummies. I mean, I think there is this idea among some people of, wanting to save the body. I saw that in this episode of Star Trek. I think Freemasonry, to bring it back to that, teaches us that we should not be afraid of our mortality, that we should actually use that to remind ourselves of the earth, that we have such a limited time here on Earth, that we should use that to actually, encourage us to, first of all, be grateful that we're here. And through that gratefulness, that we should, use that to motivate us to treat people around us with respect, to do what we can on this earth to make it better while we're here. It should be a motivating thing and something in some ways we're even grateful for. We're grateful to have that motivation more so than anything else, I think. I wouldn't be shocked. I'd be surprised because I've not seen any evidence that he is, but it wouldn't shock me necessarily. I mean, I've learned in this life, I don't know if anything is necessarily shocking, to be perfectly honest. Um, I think I've learned over the years that very often uh, there's more to heaven and earth than expected in this world, right? At least that's been my experience. I think confronting our mortality is actually a really good thing and something that I think that we should be willing to um, something we should be willing to be more accepting of. I think sometimes it seems like a lot of people now in 2026 have this. You hear about these people doing all these things like look maxing, and I've heard of some billionaires talking about like exchanging their blood or cleaning their blood or plasma. I don't even know what the term is. Like, look, we should be healthy. We should want to live healthy lives because that allows us to contribute more to the world around us. We should eat better. We should do all these things. Like, all this stuff matters. I truly believe that. But I also think we shouldn't be trying to live forever. We should just be trying to do the best we can with the time we have to be as healthy and as good as we can. That's my own humble opinion. When no day. Vampire is the word. There you go, vampire. No, I've seen a lot of like rich people talking about all these weird things. I just don't get it. I don't understand. I wouldn't want to live forever. I want to be around for a while. I want to make the world a better place. I want to live healthy, but I don't want to necessarily live forever. I think that seems silly. Well, very sorry, debate for everything present. If you join the Freemasons thinking you're going to live forever, you're going to be very disappointed, and you would learn your disappointment very early on because Freemasonry definitely teaches us to be mindful of and aware of our mortality, but not to let that mindfulness and awareness disappoint us, but rather to allow it to make us feel better about the fact that we're here on this planet for such a limited amount of time. It's like, you know, it's kind of like we get to be here and try to make the world a better place. How could we be upset by that? You know? I love the Stoics, City. I've talked about this before. Freemasonry borrows a great deal from Stoic philosophy. Um, and I think that's awesome that it does that. So it borrows the cardinal virtues from Stoic philosophy, it borrows a lot of ideas from Stoic philosophy. I personally think that's a really cool thing. And I've actually had two interviews with Stoic philosophers on this channel about about Freemasonry and Stoicism. So I think that's really cool. I don't think Stoicism is kind of what it's become lately. It's not the be all end all. It's not the most important thing ever, but it's matters and it is important, and it can provide very good lessons for people. I really like one of my favorite one of my favorite Stoic quotes in the whole world. Genuinely, is the quote, "What are you afraid of losing when nothing in the world belongs to you?" I think that's awesome. So consider yourself one of my favorite quotes of all time. So consider yourself, you receive a copy of the lodge bylaws and the Grand Lodge Constitution and a copy of Masonic ritual, which you need to study to get from your first degree to your second degree. Now, every jurisdiction does things slightly differently. Keep that in mind, but yeah, it does that as well. So you do, and you should review them. I know people are busy, but if you can find the time, believe me, it will be incredibly helpful to you. He was not a Mason to my knowledge. I've not seen any evidence that he was. I could be mistaken. I suppose I suppose if people think he did, the key thing is they should, he should go through a legal process, determine if he's guilty or innocent of, I guess, betrayal, or I guess you'd call it, treason, I guess would be the term. Because people say evil is done in the dark. I mean, I think there's valid reasons to maintain privacy. I think there's always going to be valid reasons to maintain privacy. Like, IR, you're not going to provide on the chat your bank account information or anything like that, right? Nor should you. Obviously, you should not, right? So, this idea that because something is maintained privately, it's automatically evil, I think that's really silly. So Hassan, right now there is no Masonic lodges in Dubai, except I think on military bases. I want to say though, I have been to Dubai in the past and I love it. It's an incredible place. It's absolutely beautiful. I loved the country very, very much. But yeah, there is no, to my knowledge right now, Freemasonry in Dubai. However, you can look at joining affiliate lodges or when you travel. That's possible as well. Hello, David Solomon. Please hit like and subscribe. What I'd say is the most important thing is see where you move to, or if you ever move, and look there. Or maybe one day, who knows, maybe one day they will bring Freemasonry into Dubai. I think that would be incredible. Was Anders? I don't know who that is. Um, Google him. I may do so. Ask Jeeves. That's an old school. That's a very old school reference there. Ask Jeeves. It'd be fun. Um, I mean, I don't know who this person is. Why do they call Marines jarheads? I used to know this, but I don't anymore. Um, I feel like I'm gonna get in trouble Googling this. I'm trying to find this person. Was he in prison? Well, I mean, I don't think he was a Freemason, and if he was a bad one, because you should not be, obviously, you should be compliant with the laws of the country in which you live. So, I don't know. Oh, so according to AI Overview, he was a member of the Norwegian Order of Freemasons at the time of the attacks, but was immediately expelled following the atrocity. Belonged to St. Olaf Lodge in Oslo. Okay, so he was. Hey, Freemasons are human beings, which means we suffer from all the same maladies as every other human being, including mental illness, which it sounds like this guy was, almost without question, um, mentally ill, or evilness. And unfortunately, sometimes bad people get through. I'm glad that they expelled him immediately, as they should have. Um, Honestly, yes. And I'm sure at least at some point in time they heard that joke. But yes, they would be a Mason jarhead. We got to find more. Well, because you never know what it's going to be, right? You never know what it's going to be on Google. You always want to be careful with that. It's very easy for people to say Google X, Google Y. Like, I don't want to Google something and then some horribly disgusting picture shows up on my screen or something. Hello, hey Waystar, H Waystar, thank you for being here. Please take a moment. If you're new, hit the like and subscribe button. Well, I'm sure there's a reason. There's always a reason for bans of some sort. But it does suck. I mean, obviously, what matters most in this scenario is the fact that people were hurt, people were harmed, and that should always be more important than anything else. Having said that, um, I always hate to see Freemasonry portrayed in negative light, and we as Freemasons need to remember that whatever we do in our day-to-day lives, it could be anything from choosing to litter on the sidewalk to obviously harming other people to mass murder. It is going to reflect upon the craft as a whole, so we should always be wary and aware of our behaviors. Um, And that's something I always try to remember. And obviously, I don't think at that point that person, if he's going to commit mass murder, I don't think he's going to care that much about about how it reflects upon Freemasonry because he's probably very mentally ill or very evil or both. But yeah, credit to the lodge for expelling him immediately as they should have. Um, and I mean, it's easy to also judge the lodge and say, why'd you let him in the first place? People can trick you. People can pretend. We talked about Masonic scams in some way. Another type of scam is people who are bad pretending to be good and getting into Freemasonry, which absolutely can happen as well, right? And that's a type of scam against the lodge. To a certain extent, no matter how hard you, to a certain extent, no matter how good you try to be at the application process, at guarding the West Gate, it is always going to be the case, unfortunately, that our Masonic lodges, um, when you let somebody else in, you take a leap of faith on them. So obviously, your goal has to be um, to try to limit that leap of faith, limit the distance you're leaping by talking to them, learning more about them, engaging with them, um, getting to know them as well as you possibly can. But at the end of the day, there's only so much you can do, and you are taking a leap of faith. Um, no, Hassan, if you want to quit being a Freemason, it's very easy. You just stop paying your dues or stop attending lodge. It happens all the time. Unfortunately, it's just one of those things. I mean, I guess what I would say is I would hope that If you join Freemasonry, you choose not to quit. But ultimately, when we talk about Freemasonry, we always talk about it in two ways. First of all, the idea that you as a Freemason should be joining of your own free will and accord, which you should be, but then you want to be staying of your own free will and accord as well, right? Both are equally important. Um, so yeah, there you go. That's just how I show my love. Sure thing. I mean, I don't like the term profane. I will ban you, but that doesn't make you a profane. That just makes you banned from the channel, which is a whole different thing. I never liked the term profane. I've always thought it's kind of silly, to be honest. I've never really got it. Like, I've never used it. I've never heard anybody use it before. I just find it silly. Apex, we're talking about Freemasonry. Any thoughts you have on Freemasonry? Positive, negative, or neutral? I'd love to hear them. What is your professor, Prof. Ann? What if my professor, Professor Ann? I would say that's a very unfortunate name. Hello, City. Once again, thank you for being here. Hi, thank you, IR Baboon. Thank you, Jeremy. Welcome. And thank you, everybody, for being here. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're having a great day. Please take a moment, hit like, hit subscribe. Any thoughts on Freemasonry, positive, negative, or neutral? I'd love to hear it. Yes, I got a big oblong head. Please hit the like and subscribe button. I would truly appreciate it. Let me know if you have any thoughts on Freemasonry. We're just hanging out, chatting. Sometimes those are kind of fun streams to do, so. I cannot IR, but can you give me a 99-cent super chat? Sorry, you're on your own. I mean, Stormcloak Soldier, if you are doing Freemasonry by hand, I don't really know what that means, or by freehand, but I would say it's probably bad because you're probably not, measuring twice, cutting once, or anything like that. I don't know. I'm not an operative mason. I'm a stone mason. Sorry, excuse me. I'm not an operative mason. I'm not a stone mason. I'm a Freemason. I'm a speculative mason. And because I'm a speculative mason, believe me, you do not want me dealing with your stonework or giving you advice on stonework by any means. What's up, Mr. Inappropriate? You know what's really inappropriate? Not hitting the like and subscribe button. That's the truly inappropriate thing. Hello, City, once again. I shall give you advice. I shall take it. Now, I'm not going to promise you I'll actually follow the advice. I can't make any promises there, but I will at least listen to it. Everyone who can't keep their mouth shut feeds the birds in some way. Oops, I don't know what that means. Dun, dun, dun. I think I've heard that before. That sounds like an old like Greek expression, to be honest. Understanding should be based on perceiving, but perceiving should be based on understanding. Fair enough. I think that's true. I think that's true for Freemasonry very often, right? What I've often noticed is people, they think that to me, they think that they understand Freemasonry because they've read about it or they perceive the truth of Freemasonry. Perception, I think, requires, or understanding, I think, requires experience. It is ultimately an experiential thing more so than anything else. Um, so that's my humble opinion on that. You perceive experience, you understand perception. I think what I will say is when it comes to Freemasonry, the most important thing to keep in mind and remember is it is about the experience. That's what matters the most. If you want to truly understand Freemasonry, you need to experience it. It's far more important to do it that way. I think a lot of the danger we have now is people thinking they understand Freemasonry because they've read about it or been online or seen Twitter feeds about it. Even this channel, like, look, I'm grateful for everybody who's part of this channel. I'm grateful for everybody who learns about Freemasonry from this channel. I truly am. Ultimately, though, Freemasonry, you can't truly understand it from this channel. I can give you facts. I can give you I can give you facts about it. I can give you knowledge about it. I can help you know at least my experiences and my truth about it. I hate that term, my truth, but nonetheless, what I can't do, however, is make you truly understand it. For that, you need to experience it. But I'm grateful that you're here with me, of course, and thank you for that. I heard that none of the Christians can join Scottish Rite. So that is true for the highest level, the highest chapter. That is true for Knights Templar. But everybody, doesn't matter if you're Christian, Muslim, Jewish, Hindu, Sikh, can join Masonry itself and also Scottish Rite and also Shrine, etc., etc. So that's important to keep in mind as well. Can't go where? I'm not sure what you mean by that. Why is that? It's because the Knights Templars are based on the ancient chivalric military order of Knights Templars. I used to not like that. It used to bother me that they had an order in Freemasonry that was exclusive to a faith, or of the Masonic family, I should say, that's exclusive to a faith. But looking back, I don't mind as much anymore. I view it the same way I view going to law school. When I was going to law school, everybody was a lawyer, everybody was a law student, everybody was equal. But then they had groups for black law students, women law students, disabled law students. They had groups for people who are into sports and students, things like that. And so I view it as the same way. It's a group within Freemasonry. It's not Freemasonry. Um, what degree of Freemasonry am I? I am a third degree Master Mason. I'm also 18th degree Scottish Rite. I'm also Worshipful Master of my lodge, Border Cities Lodge number 554. Please hit like, please hit subscribe. I would be truly grateful. Well, there's the old expression in fighting, right? Where the head goes, the body follows, which is true. Um, if Masonry accepts all religions, well, it's not part of the degrees. It's an appendant body. There's 3 degrees: entered apprentice, fellow craft, master mason, and that's it. Those are the 3 degrees. That's what matters, right? In terms of the foundation, that is what Freemasonry is. That is the Blue Lodge. That's the Craft Lodge. If you want to, go into different parts of the Masonic family, you can join Scottish Rite or York Rite or the Shrine. It's kind of like if you are a high school student, you can, join the photography club, or you can join I don't know, you can join the photography club or the football team or the soccer team, or maybe they do have a religious group in your high school, like they have a Jewish students group or a Christian students group or a Muslim students group, but the high school is for everybody. And then the different groups within, there are sometimes, again, different requirements. But that is one part of the Masonic family. Freemasonry is the first 3 degrees. It's entered apprentice, fellow craft, master mason. Um, I mean, there are symbols in Freemasonry because they help provide metaphorical lessons, right? That's what symbols do. Symbolism and symbols are meant to provide lessons to people. So, yeah. You can bring up Jesus. What I do ban you is if you start telling people that their religion is wrong. Not right away, but at a certain point, I will ban you for that. Because, I mean, it could be that it's wrong. We don't know. What I will say is I believe in being respectful of everyone's religious beliefs, because ultimately, until we make it to the next place, nobody's going to know for sure. Nobody can know for sure. So we need to be respectful of everyone's religious beliefs. Well, I'm not sure what Jesus in the desert references. I do not know. I mean, again, I don't remember why I banned people. I haven't banned a lot of people. So if you got banned, you're part of a very special select group, because it's rare that I ban people. But I don't know. I'm sure there was a reason for it of some sort. I've been doing this stream for years. I can't remember everybody I've banned. Yes, Hassan, the Illuminati is a different thing. The Illuminati is not connected to Freemasonry. They're different organizations. The Illuminati hasn't existed for at least a century, if not more. Hay is for horses indeed. Well, IRB, I don't remember why I banned you, but I'm sure there was a reason for it. I mean, I suppose from a Christian perspective, you would want to disobey, you would want to resist the devil at every station of your life, whether you are weak or strong or anything in between. At least I think that would make sense. I don't think I said that. I don't know what you're talking about, IRB. It doesn't sound like anything I would say. I mean, I would say being alone in the desert, physically, you are in a lot of trouble because our bodies are weak. We need food, we need water, we need shelter, we need protection. Like, I don't care how strong you think you are, sooner or later, you're going to get hungry. You're going to get thirsty, right? So, freedom, true freedom, is not always just being away from things, but also sometimes means having things, right? To be truly free, you need to have enough food to keep yourself satiated. Otherwise, your freedom will be curtailed by your hunger very quickly and weakness from malnutrition. Um, we are going to be we are just going to keep hanging out, wait to see who joins. We're going to be ending this stream soon because I've got 10% battery left. I will be back on at 1 a.m. tonight because it's always good times. Thank you for helping me get to my 4,000 subs, and thank you for always supporting this channel. I'm truly grateful. I hope you guys got some valuable information about how to spot Masonic scams, because unfortunately they are on the rise, despite our efforts to curtail them, and hopefully this stream helped people curtail them a little bit. Hello, Aussie John, 6:46 a.m. So it is very early in the morning for you. But thank you for being here, and I hope you're doing well. Building the third Solomon temple? No, it is not. I think that's a religious goal you're referring to, the third temple. Freemasonry is not a religion. Now, there may be some Freemasons who are, I believe the term is dispensationalist, if I recall correctly. Um, there you go, Sayok. I think the term is dispensationalist, but I could be mistaken. But I do believe there are some some people who have a certain religious belief where they believe it is necessary to build a temple. I'm not really sure why or for what purpose. But that is a particular religious belief system. There may be some Freemasons who believe in that. I'm not sure, but I'm not one who believes in that. And there is no Masonic teachings about building a third temple. Again, Freemasonry is not a religion. It is not political. Every Mason will have their own beliefs about these things, but it's not a religious. It's not a Masonic belief. Anything about building a third temple. To my knowledge, Pete Hegseth is not a Freemason. I've never heard any evidence that he is, or seen any evidence that he is. I agree, Aussie John. I think that is absolutely the case, and unfortunately, many people fall for it, and that's really, really sad. You need to know what to spot, know what to see, and protect yourself. It's incredibly important. No, there is no end in Freemasonry. That's not how it works. Freemasonry is on a journey with an ending, and it is not satanic at any point. So, no. Oh, we got some kids above me causing trouble. What are you going to do? Once again, thank you everybody for joining. Thank you for helping me get to my... Yes, but Crowley was also a clandestine Mason. He was likely not a legitimate Mason. I don't think is a bad person against which or with which to judge Freemasonry. The Adventures of Smokey and Bandit. It is not BS. I've been a Mason for 20 years. I can assure you there is nothing satanic within or about Freemasonry. If you think there is, you've been spending way too much time looking up nonsense on social media. No, 33rd is not the end. I don't understand this stupid obsession with 33rd degree Freemasonry or where it comes from. It's so dumb. If 33rd is the end, then what are the Knights Templars? What is the Potentate? What is Memphis Mizraim? What is the third degree? Right? It's just so stupid. And it shows you don't understand what you're talking about. What is Eastern Star? What is Grand Matron? What is Grand Patron? What is Demole? Right? What is Chapter Dad? It's very stupid. Um, I mean, Aussie, then you probably recognize and understand these risks of, you understand these risks of people being scammed more so than anybody else. I think people with disabilities are probably more at risk than others, especially intellectual disabilities. But I'm glad you find it a blessing, um, and you should be proud of the work you do. Freemasonry is not a cult because, amongst other things, it does not attempt to separate the individual from friends, family, work, employment, or their deity or personal beliefs. One of the distinguishing characteristics of a cult is the desire to separate the individual from outside forces. Freemasonry, in fact, does the opposite. It encourages you to focus first and foremost on your personal relationships. Now, whether that's a good thing or not, I would argue I wish Freemasonry was a bit more exclusive in its demands on your time, but that's a different discussion for a different day. Nope, I've seen many Freemasons try and leave, and well, not try and leave, excuse me. I've seen many Freemasons leave in a variety of ways. None of them have ever been gone after, so that's silly. Masonry is like a network. There are some network connections to it, sure. I think that's one way to look at it, without question. Um, but it's a voluntary network. Hello, high tech study. Welcome from Earth. Please hit like and subscribe. Memphis was it the capital city? I mean, Memphis Mizraim is not recognized in North America. It is recognized in Europe. Um, it was not built all by Masons. That's dumb as well. Um, Nobody's hitting anybody on the head with hammers when you join. I mean, um, if you show up at a Masonic lodge, I promise you, no one is going to be hitting you over the head with a hammer. Uh, Freemasonry, again, I never give specifics about Masonic events or Masonic rituals. What I always say, though, is there's nothing in any Masonic lodges that is illegal, immoral, or against one's civic, religious, or moral responsibilities. If you show up to a Masonic lodge and somebody hits you over the head, something has gone horribly awry. Um, Rituals are important parts of life. Many people have rituals. Football teams have rituals. Um, right? So ritual is an important part of our lives. I don't know much about the Knights of Malta, Hassan. I think they're a Catholic group, right? If I recall correctly. No, Freemasonry is not satanic, but I don't know much about the Knights of Malta. I think they're a Catholic group more so than to my knowledge, but I could be mistaken. I need to look more into them. Um, there is no such thing as a YouTube hammer. I don't even know what that would look like. It'd be interesting to see a YouTube hammer, but I've never heard of one before. That's what matters, right? Eating, smoking cigars, and having a good time. The ritual is sacred, but to me, it's sacred because it helps us form bonds between our brothers. That's what makes it sacred. It's not inherently sacred. I don't believe in the supernatural or spiritual or anything like that. So it's not in that sense. However, it is sacred in that the ritual is how we connect to one another. So Well, Psyoc, that was your mistake. So there you go. Don't be running directly into it. But I do think the ritual has some sacred qualities to it, without a doubt. Hello, Hypno Bike. Please hit like, please hit subscribe if you're new. We are at 4,006 subscribers, and I'm grateful for that. I'm very grateful to be over 4,000. Took a lot of work to get here. But I don't believe in sorcery. I don't believe in magic. I don't believe in witchcraft or anything like that. I simply believe that the reason you have Masonic ritual is the same reason football teams have rituals, to create bonds in the team or between the brothers. Thank you, Hypno. I appreciate that very much. No, the government is not considered a Masonic scam. The government is not Masonic. The government is a political or administrative entity. I don't know who Tom Brady, the quarterback. Um, I do not think he cloned his dog. I find that highly questionable. The Spice, going with Dune now. I like Dune, the movie. I like the first one a lot. Second one was good too. I mean, I'm not sure what you mean by legitimate by law. Like, of course, lodges are legitimate organizations. If they were illegal, then by definition, they could not exist in the countries, right? They are charitable. Their buildings are very often not for profits and have to file, financial disclosures. Masonic lodges are as legitimate as they can be. If they're not, they would be considered clandestine, both in a Masonic sense and in a legal sense. So you need to keep that in mind. I am not from Israel. I am a member of a Masonic lodge in Israel, though. I'm a member of Lodge Holy Land number 50, which meets in Tel Aviv, and proud of it. No, Hitler was very much opposed to Freemasonry. In fact, he outlawed and he banned Freemasonry, not just in Germany, but anywhere the Nazis took over, which is obviously, in fact, he did put some Masons in concentration camps. So I don't know what a Cleopatra needle is. Is that an obelisk? The pyramid, the dollar bill was not designed by a Freemason. Pyramids and the all-seeing eye, or the eye of providence, were considered very important symbols um, in that era of time. So many groups used them, including on the dollar bill. It was not specifically Masonic. That is very true, Trin Boss. That is absolutely true. You can have Freemasons who are garbage men, who are doctors, who are mayors, who are lawyers, who are plumbers, and everything in between. But we are all on the level. I know what you mean by that, The Adventures of Smokey the Bandit. Like, Freemasonry is not made up. Of course, Freemasonry exists, because here I am talking about it. What is all made up? Keep in mind, I have 6% phone juice, right? So my phone is probably going to die anytime. I'll have to start it up again later. Um, but again, I do 1 a.m. streams and 1 p.m. streams as well. So you can find me on the 1 a.m. stream. I don't think history is made up. Certainly, history is coming at you from a particular perspective very often. Very often, it's from the perspective not of the winners, but of the literate, which I think people need to remember, right? Whoever is able to write and knows how to write is going to have much more success in communicating their version of history. I don't think it's all lies. I think it's something that you need to have for lack of a better term, be willing to take any stories of history or any stories of historical discussion and always take them with a healthy level of skepticism. But the key word there is a healthy level of skepticism. Um, right? I think very often what we've done now is we've confused skepticism with intelligence. And what that means is the more people think that they are, people will sit there and think and assume because they have a healthy level of the more skeptical they are, the smarter they are, which is not a healthy approach to take. We are at 5% battery life. So my phone is going to die out any moment. Thank you everybody for being here. Thank you for helping me get to my over 4,000 subs. I really appreciate it. I'll be back on at 1 a.m. Eastern, and maybe even before that. So you will find me there. Thank you for being here. I don't believe in Tartians at all. I think that's nonsense. I will see you guys soon. Skeptical is good. Too much skepticism is unhealthy. All right, talk to you guys later. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for helping me get over 4,000 subs. I'm grateful. And I'll be back soon.